So welcome to Brightline Bites Live. My name is Becky. I'm part of the Brightline Eating social media team. And we are going to do a little food prep demonstration today. Let me tell you a little bit about Brightline Bites Live first. We have a hashtag here that we use around the Brightline Eating community, and it's hashtag Brightline Bites. And our social media team uses this hashtag, and our community uses this hashtag. You can find awesome recipes, meal ideas, food prep ideas on Instagram, on Facebook, if you search that hashtag or click on that hashtag when you see it. So because of that, we realized a lot of people need help with some recipes, especially if you're just getting started. Need some help with recipes, some help with food prep, some help with meal ideas, maybe planning out a day's worth of food, those sorts of things. So we put together these videos to help you so that you can get the automaticity, get the food chatter out of your brain, get that all situated so that then you can live the rest of your life in freedom from that food obsession, which is what we are all about here at Brightline Eating. So welcome. We have a lot of new people in the community right now, a lot of new people who've joined us because it's January, it's time for fresh start. So welcome. I'm especially glad to have you here today. And today's demonstration is really going to be aimed at those people who are new. If you've been around a while, you still might get something great out of this. So definitely stick around. But if you are new, what we're going to be talking about today is one whole day's worth of meals. So I'm going to show you a typical breakfast, a typical lunch, and a typical dinner. Now, these are typical for me. You might have different food tastes. You might have different recipes that you like. But if you're just getting started, these are some great ideas. And I'll show you some variations of each meal, especially some whole food plant-based variations, because we recently polled our community to see what people were interested in seeing on these videos, and whole food plant-based meals was one of the things that people were really interested in seeing. So just really quickly, the 4 bright lines in Brightline Eating are no sugar, no flour, no snacking. We only eat meals, no snacking in between, and everything is weighed and measured. So those are the 4 bright lines that we follow in Brightline Eating when we're putting together a meal or a meal plan. And what I'm going to show you today is based on the weight loss meal plan. And as I said, if you're new here, if you've maybe read the book, started reading the book, maybe a friend is doing Brightline Eating and you decided to check it out, you aren't quite sure where to get started, this video will be a great overview of what a day might look like in your meals. And if you're really interested in this and you're like, you know what, I want to give this a try, head over to our Get Started page. There's some options there. It'll explain those options to you on that page. And there's a link to the Get Started page over in the description. So you can click on that and figure out, after we're done with the video, of course, and then you can figure out what the right first step on your journey will be for you. So, all right, let's get going. We're going to start with breakfast. So this is a really typical breakfast for me. I like to have, I've already measured out some of this stuff because we usually like to keep these videos to about a half an hour. So I've already measured out some things, but I will explain everything to you step by step and break this down as absolutely simple as I can make it. So what I have in this bowl here is 6 ounces of cherries. Your breakfast is 6 ounces of fruit, 1 serving of protein, and 1 serving of grain. So let's talk about what you can put into your breakfast. And here's what I have here. I have 6 ounces of cherries. Now, what I have that I really like to have for breakfast is frozen cherries. So these were frozen cherries, and I've thawed them already. And then on top of it, I have 8 ounces of plain Greek yogurt. It's really important that your yogurt is plain, no sweetener. Usually any kind of flavoring is going to be sweetened. So no sweetener of any kind. So this is just plain Greek yogurt, 8 ounces is a serving. And then I also have, this is 4 ounces of cooked oatmeal. Now, all I've done to make this oatmeal is I took 1 ounce of quick oats and I combined that with 3 ounces of boiling water. You can either measure your grain, your oatmeal, dry or cooked. I kind of happen to do both. I measure out 1 ounce of quick oats, then I heat up 3 ounces of water, or at least that's what I did today. And it comes out to 4 ounces altogether. So then what I will do is, you can eat these separately. You could put a little bit of cherries in with the oatmeal, and then have part of your cherries with the yogurt. or you could stir this all together. I have a friend who has purple mush, she calls it, for breakfast every morning, and that's her blueberries, yogurt, and oatmeal, and she stirs it all up and she calls it her purple mush, and it's delicious and she loves it. I like to mix it all up as well. So here's my cherries, my yogurt, and my oatmeal all together. And then I'm gonna add some cinnamon, lots and lots of cinnamon, because cinnamon is delicious. And with spices like this, the measurement, it doesn't matter. You don't have to weigh spices. And some nutmeg I'm adding as well. Some nutmeg. And this is breakfast. I would just stir this all up. I do have this on my scale right now, but I did actually pre-measure everything, so I'm not measuring it right now. It doesn't look really pretty once it's all stirred up, but let me tell you, it is absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Stir it all up. It's kind of like a creamy fruit oatmeal. It's really, really good. So that's breakfast. Simple as can be. Let's talk about some variations. Let's see, for your protein. So I have 8 ounces of yogurt here. If you find yourself getting too full, 8 ounces of yogurt is one of the bigger portions of protein that you can have. You can substitute that for cottage cheese. Cottage cheese for a women's serving is 4 ounces. You can also split your protein and have half yogurt and half nut butter or nuts, and stir that all in together, and that's really good as well. If you're in the weight loss phase, we don't recommend nuts and nut butter every day. Limit those. Nuts can tend to trigger some people because they're kind of snacky sort of food. So if nuts are a concern for you, then don't go with nuts. If nut butter is a concern with you, don't go with nut butter. There are also plant-based yogurts out there, coconut yogurt, soy yogurt, those sorts of things that you can get if you're whole food plant-based instead of using dairy yogurt. So there's breakfast. Now, let's move on to lunch. Okay, I am going to measure this out because I've done a little food prep, but I haven't measured it all out yet. So a very quick lunch that we like to have in our house is hummus and veggies. Super simple. I get store-bought hummus. You can make your own hummus, and if you make it without oil, you can actually have a little bit of a bigger portion. I also like to split my protein because I get a little tired of eating hummus. I don't like to have a ton of it in one meal. So a hummus portion for women on the weight loss plan is 4 ounces, I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna do half of my protein. And we love the OXO digital scale because it is so super precise. 2 ounces, there we go. 2 ounces of hummus. So that's half of my protein. Let's see, I have a lot of stuff all over my tongue here. Let's talk about the other half of our protein. Something that I really like to have is a hard-boiled egg. 2 eggs is a protein serving, so 1 egg would be half of your protein serving. So half hummus, half egg, there's your whole protein. I have this little gadget that slices your egg for you, and I just love it because it's fun. There is a hard-boiled egg. Now, something to dip in our hummus. Any veggies that you like are great. What I like to do is pre-cut some veggies and have them in my fridge. I'll do this like twice a week so that they're nice and fresh. And you're just gonna zero out your scale and then add 6 ounces of veggies. I personally like some cucumbers and pepper sticks. There's 5 ounces. You know what? I'm gonna have a little bit of sugar snap peas today, some snap peas. There we go, perfect. So I have cucumbers, pepper sticks, snap peas. You can also have, set these aside here. You could do some tomatoes. Sometimes I do that. Look at these little tomatoes I found. These are so cute. They're called sprinkles. Little teeny tiny tomatoes. How cute are those? I like to put those on salads, but you could have those for lunch with your veggies. My grocery store, I live in Western New York, so I shop at Wegmans. They happen to sell these carrots, which come pre-sliced in carrot chips. And this is what my husband likes with his hummus because they're great for scooping up the hummus. And it's just carrots sliced into circles. You could make those yourself, or your store might carry them pre-cut. They're super convenient. All right, so we have our whole protein here. 1 egg, 2 ounces of hummus. We have our veggies. I'm just gonna have an apple with this. If you want, you can slice this up or you can just eat it whole. We, in Brightline, eating weigh or measure everything. 1 apple is a measurement. It doesn't necessarily matter how much this apple weighs. If I cut it up, it will probably be very close to 6 ounces because 6 ounces is your serving size if you're weighing it. But you can measure fruit. It's in the all the boot camp or 14-day challenge documents that you'll get if you join one of those programs. It's in the book, it's in the cookbook. There are different measurements for different types of fruit. I think it's like 1 apple, 1 banana, 1 orange. If you don't want to weigh it, if you're just going to have 1 piece. Some of the smaller fruits like plums, apricots, you have 2 or 3. It's all outlined in the book. Or you can weigh this. That is also totally acceptable, especially maybe if you have small bananas or a small apple and you want to add some berries or something to it so that you get your full 6 ounces. Also totally acceptable. The one thing to be careful with fruit is not to start letting your brain get to you, your saboteur say, you got to find the biggest apple possible and have these like gigantic apples. Susan Pierce Thompson's talked about that getting to her in the past where she was just going for these like gigantic, ridiculous size apples and realized that it was a problem. So I'm going to have my apple for my fruit here. So our lunch for the weight loss plan is 1 serving of veggies, 1 serving of protein, 1 serving of fruit, and 1 serving of fat. So for my fat, I am going to have 1 ounce of nuts, half an ounce of nuts. Sorry, I have the food plan over there on the side of my fridge so that I can double check these things. I'm gonna have a half an ounce of raw almonds. Perfect, there it is. So this right here is a beautiful Brightline eating lunch. Now, this is not a whole food plant-based lunch. So let's talk about what some of our options are for whole food plant-based. What we need to get rid of here is this little egg. So if you want to make this a whole food plant-based meal, you could add another 2 ounces of hummus, or the hummus serving for a men's portion is 6 ounces. So you could add, you could have 6 ounces of hummus if you're a man, 4 ounces of hummus if you're a woman. Another option, you can get some tofu. I have this pre-cooked, pre-seasoned tofu. This one happens to come in an 8-ounce package, and there's 2 pieces in there, so each piece is 4 ounces. So one of these cubes would be 1 serving. I could cut this in half and have 2 ounces of tofu, along with my hummus here for my protein. Let's see, edamame is a great option. That would be really tasty with this kind of picnic style lunch that I have here. You can also do roast edamame or roasted chickpeas as part of your protein as well. So those are some really good options to put on this plate if you want to make it whole food plant-based. Some options for the fat. If nuts are too triggering for you, if you're afraid that if you have almonds in the house, you're just going to be going and grabbing handfuls of almonds, remove that temptation from the house. You don't have to have almonds in your house. So what else can you use instead of almonds? 2 really popular choices in our house are cheese. You can get like a nice, I don't know, I guess like a provolone or some kind of nice cheese that's tasty to have on its own. Or you could have olives. Black olives we like a lot, and we'll have that as a fat portion as well. 2 ounces of olives is 1 fat portion. And that one's also a whole food plant-based option. So that's lunch. All right, let's move on to dinner, because dinner is pretty fun. So let me just tell you that one of our favorite dinners in my house is carrot noodles. And we used to be able to get, Green Giant used to make frozen steam and bag carrot noodles. And we really like carrot noodles because they have kind of a more substantial texture than zucchini noodles. In my opinion, a lot of people love zucchini noodles. And my husband's not crazy about squash, so he didn't really like when I would make spaghetti squash, and as like a sort of stand-in for your typical Italian dinner. So we found these carrot noodles and we loved them. It would seem that Green Giant has stopped making those noodles, so we figured out how to make them ourselves, and it's not even hard at all. My husband bought an electric spiralizer, and we started using it last week and making our own carrot noodles. We took 5 pounds of carrot noodles, put them through the spiralizer. There are hand spiralizers as well, if you have one of those. And our 5 pounds of carrots yielded 6 servings for us. So my husband and I both like to eat this. So we froze 4 servings in, 2 servings per bag, put them in the freezer. And we had 1 for dinner that night. And so this is our last portion from that 5-pound bag that we had. So we just throw these in the spiralizer, and then I blanched them, which is just, I put them in a very quick boiling water bath, basically. I boiled them for like 2 minutes just to kind of cook them up a little bit quickly. So we're gonna make carrot noodle marinara here. So let's talk about dinner portions real quick. At dinner on the weight loss plan, you get 6 ounces of vegetables, an 8-ounce salad, a protein, and a fat. So you don't have to have the salad. You can eat other vegetables instead of the 8-ounce salad. So some people just combine that and they'll just say, you know what, I'm having 14 ounces of veggies for dinner. Sometimes it's salad, sometimes it's all cooked, sometimes it's all salad, it's fine either way. So the 14 ounces of veggies is the number that I'm going to use here for this meal. I'm combining it all together. I'm just going to have carrots and marinara for the 14 ounces of veggies. There are also some condiments that you can have, and marinara sauce is one of the condiments. So I'm going to use marinara sauce partially for my vegetables and also the 2-ounce condiment portion. So all together in my bowl, I'm going to have 16 ounces of carrot noodles and marinara sauce. Follow me? So we normally get 14 ounces of veggies, and you can have 2 ounces of marinara as condiment. So I'm going to add that all together and say all together, I'm going to have 16 ounces of carrot noodles and marinara. So here we go. Do I have a fork? I don't think I have one. I have found, because I've been doing this for a while, and this is one of my favorite dinner meals, and also this is quick. If you do if you make these noodles on the weekend and just keep them in your freezer, you can take these out, the night before, thaw them, just have them ready to go. You can microwave this, really quickly, just microwave these noodles, heat up some marinara sauce, and then we'll talk about protein options to go on top. This is a really quick option, and it's a great one to have if your dinner plans fall through, you go to get the chicken out for dinner and it's gone bad, or, whatever the case may be. Things happen, and sometimes, you just can't eat what you planned on. To have something like this in your freezer or your fridge as a standby is a really great backup plan. So because I've eaten this a lot, I have found that I like to have just about 9 ounces of carrots and the rest marinara, because I like to have a little bit more sauce on mine. This really doesn't have to be precise because I'm going to put the marinara in there with it and add it all together for the 16 ounces that we talked about. Now I've got my marinara on the stove back here. And this is when you're doing marinara sauce or any kind of spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce, you do need to check the ingredients and make sure that there isn't sugar, especially in those first 3 ingredients. Avoid it altogether if you can, but especially in those first 3 ingredients, no sugar, no sweeteners. I have found that most of your big name national brands do have sugar right up there in the first couple ingredients, or a sweetener of some kind. So you do definitely need to be diligent. But this is just basically a tomato product. So this counts as veggie and as well as a condiment. So I'm gonna get my precise 16 ounces, which is the same as 1 pound. So it just switched over to 1 pound. So there's my veggie and condiment portion for dinner. Set my sauce aside. Okay, now let's talk about protein options for topping this. I'm gonna zero out my scale. You have a couple of options here. One is you can find a truly flour-free meatball, which is what I have here, a flour-free meatball. You can also do, let's see, there's a really great recipe. And sorry, I have so much stuff on my counter here. I'm trying to find all the utensils I got out for today. There's a really great recipe in the Brightline Eating Cookbook called Not Your Mother's Meatloaf. Oh no, my meatball ran away. Not Your Mother's Meatloaf. And I have made that one before. I liked it. My kids liked it. My husband liked it. I am a hair under with my protein, but I'm not going to worry about it because usually I just measure these meatballs. I know that 9 or 10 meatballs is 4 ounces. So I only cooked 10 today and it's a hair under. I'm just going to let that go and not worry about it because I've measured my meatballs. If I were to put another one on there, I wouldn't even be able to get a whole one. So I'm just going to call this all good. Gives me peace. I'm happy with it. So the Not My Mother's Meatloaf in the cookbook, some people like it. I've seen some people don't care for it, but if you like that recipe, you could try making that into meatballs. I haven't tried that yet, but I've been wanting to. Another option you could try, sorry, I'm just gonna set my pan aside, is cook that meatloaf and then just slice it up into chunks and put that on top of your marinara here. That would be delicious as well. Another option, grilled chicken I've had in this is really good. Make some grilled chicken on the grill. It's redundant, grilled chicken on the grill. Slice that up and put it in here. It's kind of like a chicken primavera sort of, or I'm sorry, chicken Parmesan sort of vibe going on. I'm sure that there are probably some like Italian seasoned tofu, you know, like this, you're pre-cooked, or you can make your own maybe, and like an Italian seasoned tofu that you could bake and then cut up into chunks in here, and that would probably be pretty good as well. I haven't tried that myself. Let's see. Oh, chicken Italian sausage. That's another one that I've had as well. I like to do a chicken-based sausage, so it's not as fatty as your usual Italian sausage, but an Italian seasoned chicken sausage. Sliced up, you know, grill it or pan cook it and slice it up and put it on top of this. That's also really good. And you can also, if you like zucchini noodles, if you like spaghetti squash, you can make this exact same bowl with one of those. Equally as good. Okay, so we have our veggies, we have our protein. All we need for this to be a complete dinner is our fat. I've already zeroed that out. I'm gonna get a clean spoon and I have these little mozzarella pearls that I'm gonna put on top. You can also use cheese as your protein. I would be careful with that, and especially if you're new, because cheese can also be kind of bingy and triggering for some people. So limiting cheese or avoiding it, even if you're just getting started, is sometimes a good idea as well. I'd like you to notice that I have a towel here to wipe my hands off on instead of doing any BLTs, bite, licks, and tastes, because it is not mealtime for me. So this is our dinner. A couple other options that you could do with this is less noodles, less sauce, and have your salad on the side, especially if you have a dressing, an oil-based dressing that you want to use as your fat instead of cheese. That's a great whole food plant-based option. And let's see, olives. Again, we really like to have black olives as a fat option. We keep them by the case in our house. One of those, you know, whole food fat options that is good to have. You could have those just on the side. That's good to have as well. So that's our dinner. So here, let me just pop these out here and I will show you what one day of meals can look like on Brightline Eating. And see, I'll throw my egg back on here. So we've got breakfast, cherries, yogurt, and oatmeal. Lunch, some raw veggies, almonds, egg and hummus, apple. And dinner, carrot noodles, marinara, flour-free meatballs, and mozzarella cheese. This is delicious. This fuels your body. This gives you peace so that you're not worrying all day long if what you ate was right or wrong or good or bad. You know that this right here is a bright day. And I think that's it for today. So everybody have a great, beautiful, lovely, bright day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.